Hey, everybody, and welcome back to For the Booze.
For the Booze.
For the Booze.
What's going on?
Nothing. Just chilling at the house.
That was. Yeah, we're on vacation.
I know.
So.
Staycation.
Played a lot of guitar today.
Yeah.
Trying.
Sounded really good.
Got the sick little kid. It's been a weird weekend.
Poor little guy.
I know.
Ugh. He's like tummy sick, too.
Yeah.
Ugh. He's handling it like a champ, though. I expected it to go worse.
He is, but I still feel pretty bad for him.
I know.
Anyways, today we're going to cover a topic that we're actually pushing this episode out a little earlier than the other ones.
Yes.
Because we're going to cover a show that by the time you hear this will be, I think, the day after the new season of Portals to Hell come out.
Yay!
We love that show.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's a great show. I mean, for a lot of us, if you're in our age range, I mean, you'll remember Jack Osbourne from way back when he was on the Osbournes on MTV and just like throughout the years, you're being crazy.
Yep.
And then, you know, one of our favorite network investigators, Katrina Weidman. Pretty sure that's how you say it. I think I called her Weidman before.
Or Weisman.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's Weidman or Weidman. I'm not sure. But anyways, we love her. She's great. I'm pretty sure she originally comes from Paranormal State, but I'm sure you'll get into that later.
I will. I'm
not exactly sure, but that's where I remember seeing her for the first time. But we asked and we received. We put out tweets and Instagram posts and Facebook posts looking for stories, and people are finally starting to send them in.
Yay, so excited.
We've actually got a few.
So excited. I've been waiting for this. Like, we just had them trickle in, and now it's like we've got a couple, like, backlogged now.
I know, finally.
I'm like, oh, my God.
And this goes out to everybody. If you want to send one in, please send one in. I mean,
even if you don't have a story or you just have, like, a crazy thing that happened to you that you, like, maybe felt was creepy. Didn't even have to be, like, ghost related.
I mean, look, we've been lucky so far. Like, we've managed to only miss maybe one or two.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've done pretty good.
I know.
But, I mean, we have had periods where we're like, oh, no, we're not going to have one. So if you're out there and you listen and you like the show, even if you don't think your story is, like, the craziest, send it in. We still want to hear it.
Absolutely.
We still want to read it. So
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Send it in. I knew you'd sneak it in there. But today, we have one, and it starts off by saying, hello, my name is Don, and I live on active property, but I had experiences before. In 1990, I had to move back in with my folks. I was in my late 20s because I was hurt bad, and the company I worked for shut down. It was not a house I had lived in before. My bedroom had a connecting bathroom to my parents' room. One night, I wasn't sleeping very well. The pain kept her up. It was dark, with just some streetlights and moonlight. I looked at the corner by the bathroom door and saw someone standing there. I thought it was my mom checking on me. I kept saying, Mom, what's up? Are you okay? What do you want? She never said anything. I rolled over and eventually got to sleep. I got up in the morning and I asked my mom what she was doing in my room in the middle of the night. My dad started laughing like a hyena. He said, so, you met our brother's ghost. Evidently, my brother, when he lived at home, was harassed by a little old man spirit. This man would shake him or climb into the bed with him. Also, my nephew saw him once and refused to sleep in that room again. I had not heard these stories, so it surprised me. When my dad mentioned it, I started thinking more of what I saw. It, or he, was very short, which is why I thought it was my mom when she was only 4'10", and I remembered he had a hat on. I never saw him again. Where I live now has been in my husband's family for more than 80 years and has a lot of history. I started noticing things 3 days after moving in. I think this is supposed to say fantastical. It's a little typo. Not fantastical stories like the fake YouTube accounts put out. Activity sometimes is maybe once or twice a year. And for a while, it was several times a month until I yelled at whomever it was to knock it off. And it slowed back down. And then she goes on to say that if we're interested, she does have a few more stories, which she did write into us. So we'll be hearing some more of her stories.
Amazing. Oh my God. How creepy is
it's
that?
Super creepy.
It's a random person standing in a doorway staring at you.
I mean, come on. You don't want to be sitting there in the middle of the night, look up, and have somebody watching you. I wouldn't even want my mom to watch me sleeping. That's weird.
No. Oh my God. And for like the parent, I guess the parents don't really have to say anything, but like make a mention of it or something. Get a little warning, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. It is kind of fun to like laugh about it though.
Oh, creepy. Thank you so much for sending that.
Absolutely,
it was a
Dawn.
great story.
And like I said, she sent, I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 more. So we'll be hearing more from her, but we do have some other ones, and I'm expecting a couple more to come in. And
I'm so excited.
I'm not going to say who, but we may be having another interview coming up soon. I don't know how soon, but in the near future. So we've got 2 semi-big interviews coming. I'm super excited, and I want to like say it, but I don't want to say it and have something happen.
Right.
So I'm not going to.
So there's a possibility.
It's a pretty good possibility.
We could be having some interviews.
It's
soon.
a pretty good possibility, and these are people who are well known in the paranormal community. So it's going to be pretty.
So excited.
Pretty awesome if we can get them on. So there's that to look forward to. But like we said, today we're going to cover our paranormal. I was going to say paranormal hell, portals to hell.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen the show. This is another, I mean, it's a Discovery Plus show or Travel Channel show or whatever, which features kind of like a different set of hosts where we have like a paranormal investigator and a famous person.
Yes. And
it's kind of crazy.
I think in watching the show, I have found, because we watch a lot of stuff, it is shot differently.
It is.
And I really enjoy the difference in just that, let alone the rest of the show.
I think my favorite part of this show is they are, I may have said this about somebody else before, but there's only a handful, not even, there's like a quarter of a handful of television shows that will go to a location and not catch anything.
Right. And then be like,
this is one of them.
We didn't catch anything. And I love that.
I expected a show that had like an actual celebrity on it to be worse with the fake stuff.
Right.
Because they're celebrity.
With the crazy
Exactly.
stuff. Like, oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that they share. I read so many interviews and like, doing research and stuff. And that's something they thrive on, to show that it just doesn't happen all the time.
It can't happen all the time.
It can't. You can't just, oh, yep, we're going here this night and all this crazy stuff's going to happen.
It just can't. It can't. It can't. So this is one of the few ones that they're just part of that like elite group of paranormal investigator television shows that sometimes they just don't catch anything.
Yeah.
And I like that.
They have 2 seasons, and since the end of season 2, it has been a long time.
It has.
Since a new season has come out.
Well,
and like I said, I have a little thing at the end of mine to let you know when, where, how. And
there's some things I want to discuss about kind of like where the show left off that I'll save for the end, because there was a lot of questions.
Yes.
I don't want to get into it yet.
Okay.
We'll talk about it at the end when we get to the portion of the show.
So what do you got for us over there, Steven?
Oh, God. Okay. So in this episode, I decided to look up Jack Osbourne. This is somebody, again, that I remember from growing up. I was in my early 20s, when he was a teenager and he was young, and I was a big Sabbath fan. So, of course, I watched that show.
Yeah.
Jack Osbourne, born November 8th of 1985. His name is Jack Joseph Osbourne. He's an English media personality with dual American and British citizenship. Jack is the son of heavy metal singer and godfather of modern metal, Mr. Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy.
He started on MTV's reality series The Osbournes from 2002 until 2005, along with his father, mother Sharon, and sister Kelly. Jack has since pursued a career as a fitness and travel reporter, presenting shows such as Jack Osbourne, Adrenaline Junkie from 2005 to 2009, and the BBC's Saving Planet Earth in 2007. In 2016, he and his father, Ozzy, traveled the world in the History Channel reality series, Ozzy and Jack's World Detour. Which I remember seeing that, and I wanted to watch it, and I don't think I ever got around to it.
I remember seeing that, but I didn't know about his first show.
Yeah,
the first one you mentioned?
He's had a few, yeah.
I did.
Adrenaline Junkie. I've heard of it, but it's another one that I haven't watched. Because, of course, I focus more on paranormal.
Right.
Jack was born in London to his father, Ozzy Osbourne, singer of the band, The Almighty Black Sabbath. Sorry.
I knew you were going to do that.
And his wife and manager, Sharon Osbourne. He has two older sisters, Amy and Kelly Osbourne, as well as two paternal half-siblings, Louis John Osbourne and Jessica Hobbs, from his father's previous marriage. Jack has stated that his childhood was perfectly happy and content. And for the first 6 years of his life, he lived in the Chiltern Hills in Buckinghamshire. And when he was just 6 years old, his parents moved the family to Los Angeles, California. But a year later, the family returned to Buckinghamshire. When he was 11, the family moved back to Southern California, but this time to Beverly Hills. Now, even though Jack remembers moving around many times at a young age, he states he did not find it disruptive, and his maternal grandfather was Don Arden, who was an English music manager. The only aspect of his life that the constant moving around did affect was his school life, of course. And Jack soon despised going to school like many kids his age, which was not helped by the fact that he was diagnosed with a form of dyslexia. Megan.
Yes.
At the age,
I too have that.
At the age of 8. And then ADHD at the age of 10. At the time, he was studying at a Christian school in Los Angeles, which I find so weird because his father is...
Yeah.
They call him like the Prince of Darkness and everything else. It's just weird.
But anyway, he grew up going to Christian school.
They sent him to a Christian school, which there's nothing wrong with that. I have no problems with
it's
like
just
religion.
Such vastly different.
It's just good. I mean, I'm not going to be like speculatory here, but everybody knows Ozzy was like a cokehead and stuff back in the 80s and a madman. And it's just weird. I mean, it probably had more to do with Sharon. She probably wanted him to just have good schooling. So,
and,
I mean, I get it.
Not go down that road, maybe?
I don't know. I guess I have an image in my head of Ozzy, so it's hard to imagine this.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, nothing wrong with it. He returned to England for a year before returning to Los Angeles, where he was enrolled into a special needs Park Century School. Then at age 14, he was offered an internship at Virgin Records, where his mother was managing the band, the Smashing Pumpkins. I didn't know this.
What?
I didn't know this till I researched this.
Stop it.
Crazy. However, after Sharon stopped managing that band, Jack started scouting for Epic Records, where his father had been for many years. Now, he also helped his mother in managing his father's annual touring festival, Ozfest, advising her about up-and-coming bands. Did you ever go to Ozfest when you were younger?
I did not.
I did. And it was freaking awesome. It was one of the best concerts. I mean, I saw Linkin Park at Ozfest, Drowning Pool. I saw Zakk Wylde. I saw Marilyn Manson.
Mm-hmm.
Every band that was relevant at that time, back in I think I went in 2001, were there.
See, I went to Earth Day Birthday here in Florida many, many times.
I would imagine,
and that's where I have seen Linkin Park, POD.
I would imagine
Ozfest
Ozfest is very comparable to that.
Yeah.
But I think it would probably be bigger just because it was Ozfest and it traveled the country.
I mean, I definitely would have loved to.
It was fun. It was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm not going to get into all the extra stories, but it was a good time. On his 13th birthday, Jack got drunk for the first time on whiskey. And by the time he was 14, he was drinking regularly and started to smoke weed. It was around this time that he started to party pretty heavy, and even made the headlines on April 21st of 2003, when he was admitted to a child psychiatric ward for an addiction.